But I have my own studio.
He said that, yeah.
I have my own studio. Now,
Yeah,
why
you
do I
told
have my
me.
own studio?
Tell
It's
me.
because the guest house in my backyard is perfect. It's 5 feet from my bedroom, and I chose to build my studio there because that means that I don't have to drive somewhere in Miami traffic. I can walk 5 feet. It's in my house. I can record anytime. I don't have to ask somebody, is there available space? I don't have to do anything. I have my studio in my space. This is me architecting a life that I love.
True.
I can walk 5 feet and record a podcast. I have all the same equipment, but it's just in my house, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of architecting a life that you love. I could speak more. I could travel more. I could do a lot of different things. I don't enjoy them. It takes time away from my family, the things that I care about, my fiance. Like anything that disrupts the way that I want to live a life, to me, is not worth it. But that's my choice. Yeah. Some people will go through, and I mean, like, this isn't the way I've always been. There's been periods of my life where I've done a lot of shit that I don't enjoy. But now I'm not ambitious, and it's not like I'm comfortable with where I'm at. But to get to the next level, I want to do it in a way that I enjoy it. So I have a personal brand. I have a podcast. I have a newsletter. I do speak, but I choose to not speak that much on purpose. I choose to not put on events because they're very stressful and there's a lot of logistics involved. So are they important? Yes. But you know what? I don't care. I still want to make money the way that I'm making money. Now that may change in the future, but for now, this is sort of a life thesis for me. This is not like a best business advice, but I think that too many people who are ambitious, they make a lot of money, and then they forget that they're not even enjoying their life. I think a lot of people forget not to enjoy life because, like, they're the ambitious person, they're working nonstop, they're killing themselves. Great, but like you have to enjoy life at the same time. And I think people forget that a lot.
That's an interesting question for you too that I had earlier. I want to get all the things you want to say off your chest, so that's why I'm letting you just.
But I'll tell you a little. So, if I was trying to put on events to answer your question, I would if I had no connections, I would use the same strategy. If I had no connections, I would hit up every single hotel and venue in the entire city.
I'm doing that right now. Yeah.
I would probably use Claude or Chat to scrape a list of all the venues, and then I'd use it to enrich that list with emails and phone numbers, and then I would hit them all up, and I would probably send off 1,000 emails in 2 days and see who gets back to me.
That's literally been the strategy. So
That's
thank God
the
we're on the
strategy.
same page. Yeah, because that's been my strategy this whole time, and like I said, we've got a few of them that are reaching back to us.
Of course we will.
They're vetting the shit out of me. Like, it's so crazy. I would never guessed it. They were just like, "Nah, what are you doing here?" And like, I mean, they want. We're talking logistics out of the ass, but I'm learning. Yeah, I'm learning about it now. The end game when I did it, when I started, I was like, all right, I want to have an Art Basel event. I want to meet some of the characters that are coming into this great city because now I'm in health tech as well. I'm making a whole platform, but essentially, I want to meet more of these like-minded people like you. That I'm like, okay, cool. These are the people I want to be around.
I'll tell you something. So, I understand the value of connections and network.
Yeah.
Which is why I built a podcast.
Smart. Yeah.
So I can walk 5 feet from my bedroom.
Yep.
And I've had billionaires sitting in my guest house. So I don't go to anybody. You build media, you build a media asset, and people come to you. Again, build the life you want in a way that you want to do it. So I still want access to all these people. I'm not like ignorant. I want to sit down and meet all these cool. I just got them to come to me as opposed to having to put on an event.
If I hosted an event with a panel, would you speak on it?
Yeah, for sure. Because you're a friend.
Hold on. You do that now. You signed the dotted line.
I have no problem speaking. Just don't make me travel too far.
It would definitely be Miami, but I just thought about that. I'm like,
okay, if there's an event in Miami and it's a friend putting it on, I will always come out and support. I'm not like an asshole. I'm just saying that if somebody was like, hey, do you want to go speak at this event this morning, I got an offer to speak in Singapore.
Wow.
Super cool.
I
have no interest in going to Singapore.
You're like, fuck that.
Not because it's just a lot of time and energy.
True.
So if, it would have to be a lot of money to get me to go to Singapore to speak.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a lot of money. It wasn't enough money. So that's my thing. I'm like, could I do that? Yeah, for sure. Would it be great for my brand? For sure. Would I meet people? Yeah, for sure. You know what? If I spent a week traveling to Singapore, what could I accomplish in my house, in my office, at my desk? And I balance it out. And I think I could do a pretty good job of attracting some cool people to me and growing my own brand and making some of my own money with whatever, I'm working on.
You talked about how your happiness is key. You did build your own studio behind you, and you're keeping your workflow close to that. You're like, hey, this is how I'm engineering my life, right?
Yes.
I imagine, like you said, you had these billionaires around you. I imagine you picked up on the fact that maybe a lot of them weren't so happy, and they did have these extravagant lives. Can you speak on that a little bit? Of maybe there was like a lot of these people you were meeting. You're like, man, like you're not really you have all these things, but you're not. It's not there. Like, do you see it in their eyes? Maybe.
So first of all, some of them are very, very happy. I mean,
I know there's definitely those.
But
Yeah.
I'll tell you something that I do notice.
Okay.
So I to have a fulfilled, happy life, I think there's 5 things that you need, and these are not scientifically proven. This is just what I've observed through interviewing tons of people and also with my own life. Yeah. I think you have to make money. I think you have to have good physical and mental health. I think you have to have great relationships. I think you have to have some level of spirituality, whatever that means for you. I think these are like the 5 buckets that have to be full to a degree to have a good life. So for example, if you just make money, which some people do, and they have no relationships and their health is shit, I don't think they're really living their best life.
Okay.
Why I say that is because I sit across from people who have made a shit ton of money and the rest of their life is not great. So like 3 ex-wives, no relationship with their kids, like morbidly obese, whatever the thing is, they have only focused on the money bucket. One of 5 things, which happens to a lot of us. We focus just on making money because it's safety, it's security, it's what we're told we have to focus on as a kid, and it's very important. You have to make money to have a comfortable life. But you don't have to do it and forget everything else. So when people I say just, meaning like they just focus on making money, and I sit across from them and I interview them, they are usually very financially well off, but like the rest of their life, they're very aware that they should have paid attention to these things at an earlier stage. So if they haven't paid attention to their health, well, now they're like, really into health and wellness and working out. And it's almost like they're trying to play catch up, if that makes sense. It's like at 45, 55, well, now I have to start thinking about my health because I realize that I have all this money and I don't want to die. Or the people that they only focus on making money and not their relationship, and they were married and they let this really great person go because they were always working or they cheated on them or whatever the thing is. And now they're 45, 55, whatever, and they're alone and they have money, and now they're trying to date, but they don't know who's trying to take advantage of them because now they have money. So are you dating me for me? Are you dating me for my money? And now there's this whole other level of anxiety. And some people be like, well, these are rich people problems. They are rich people problems for sure, but these are real problems that people are dealing with. My point is, the person who has just made money, it feels like there's a part of their life who hasn't paid attention to nothing else. It feels like there's a part of their life that is incomplete, and they're trying their hardest to figure it out, but it's already too late. You feel like grasping at straws, like a little bit. Like they're like stressed out that their health isn't there, their relationships aren't there. You see it a lot of times, people that make a lot of money, maybe they made it in unethical ways, and every second word on Instagram is about God. They're running after something that they should have been paying attention to their whole life, but they're just realizing now that after they figured out money, there's more to life than just that. Yeah. And now they're stressed out about it. Or the guy who's 55 years old, no wife anymore, kids hate him, and he's dating every 25-year-old going to live, trying to cover up the fact that nobody actually gives a shit about him anymore.
Oh, yeah.
So these people they're not fulfilled and complete. They made money and they forgot about everything else. That's not all of them, but that is unfortunately some of them. And when I look at the people, and one of my favorite stories is about Mark Randolph. He's the co-founder of Netflix, and he has this great story about how every Tuesday when he was building Netflix, he would go on date night with his wife. He'd shut off at 5 o'clock, turn off his phone. Doesn't matter what's happening in Netflix, he'd go on date night. And he kept that relationship, and it's still a beautiful relationship after he's, built Netflix into the $1 trillion company or whatever that it is. Yeah. And he's just a great example of how you can build something and fill the money bucket and still keep all the other buckets full at the same time.
Yeah.
So my point is that I sit across from a lot of people. Some of them are like Mark, who has made a lot of money and kept the rest of their lives intact. I also sit across a lot of people who have just made money and the rest of their life has gone to shit. And you can just tell that there's something missing. And I am not envious. You shouldn't be envious of anybody, but I am definitely not envious of the life of somebody who's just made money and everything else has basically disappeared.